morning and welcome to GMSL, and I'm afraid yesterday's rather inclement weather has left me with the sniffles. So you're going to have a slightly nasal experience today, but our show is going to be very informative and very interesting, because as all of you might remember, we had a wonderful episode a couple of weeks back where we discussed the issue of suicide, and we had a very prominent psychiatrist and a very prominent sociologist who both shared their views and brought in the ideas of both these schools of thought onto the table on GMSL. And it is my great pleasure to say that we have both these experts on GMSL today together to talk about what suicide really is, and so we can really delve into the topic and understand the issue and see what we can do to help those who are experiencing these feelings or help those who are undergoing these things in their family. So it is my great pleasure to introduce my guests for today. We'll start off with Dr. Harishchandra Gambira. He is a consultant psychiatrist at the National Institute of Mental Health. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us once again. And also Ms. Tharindrini Udalagama. She gave us a lot of insight last time she was here as well on the sociological aspects of suicide. She is a lecturer at the University of Colombo of the Department of Sociology. Good morning, ma'am, and thank you so much for joining us once again.
Okay. Good morning to you.
Good morning. To go right into the topic, because I remember last time we had so many things we needed to discuss and we had such little time, so we're going to delve right into it. I'd like to just give a recap to everybody who's watching us about what we discussed last time. So doctor, if I could start off with you, and if you could tell us what suicide is as defined by psychology.
Yeah, suicide is defined as intentional taking one's life, and means that they have the suicidal intention and they take a measure with the hope of ending his or her life. That's called suicide. All right.
And ma'am, from a sociological perspective, how does suicide differ? How do sociologists differ when it comes to psychiatrists when they look at suicide?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think I have to introduce what sociology is studying, because sociology is the study of groups. That means like any human entity where individuals are grouped, like a family or a community or a village, could be any setting. So suicide is one of the phenomena that we would study, and to see how the community would affect the impact of suicide on the community, as well as the impact of the community on the suicidal individual. Okay. So we are looking at suicide from the perspective of both, as in from the perspective of this phenomenon itself. Okay. So in sociology, exactly what are the causal factors when you look at it? Is it the environmental factors only? Basically it's the social factors, social causes, which could be anything from the community that influences the individual to do such an act. All right. And yeah, that's. And doctor, from a psychological perspective, what are the causes?
Yes, there are many research that describes the causation of suicides. In fact, they have found that more than 90% of the people who kill themselves has been suffering from a mental illness.
More than 90%?
More than 90%.
Okay.
Yes. And out of that, more than approximately about 50 to 60%, they had been suffering from depression. The depression is the main leading cause. And above that, there are various other illnesses. There are even in schizophrenia or this adjustment disorders, various other causes. Also, they kill themselves.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask you what the difference really is between sociology and psychology when it comes to looking at suicide as an issue that we have today. Right.
Well, I think I should first tell you a little bit about what sociology studies. Sociology studies groups, so that means family, communities, villages, cities. It could be any place where people live together as a group. So we look at suicide as a social phenomenon or a social event that occurs, and we look at how that affects the community and how the community or the group affects the suicide.
So for example, example, like doctor mentioned that when you take a suicide patient, if I can correctly call someone a suicide patient, if somebody is suffering from depression, how does sociology look at that?
We don't really isolate people and say that they're depressed and therefore they will be inclined to suicide. We look at the phenomenon, like if suicide is high in some community or some area, we will go in and do some research work and try to find out why it's so. And in that case we might find people who are depressed, or we might not find people who are depressed but with other social problems like poverty or life opportunity, lack of life opportunities or something like that. So we don't really go with the idea that we're going to find depressed people, or that we are not looking for depressed people. We're actually looking at the phenomenon of suicide. So it could be high in some community, and then we'll just go in and do some research work to find out why it's like that in that community.
Doctor, when you take yourself as a psychiatrist, how do the solutions to suicide come about? How do somebody who is from your profession, how do you define the solutions to suicide?
Yeah, I described that one of the main reasons for the suicide, in fact immediate causes for the suicide, perhaps there may be sociological reasons, like she said poverty, she said unemployment and those things, but those may be associated factor in a given community. The risk is higher in such a community. Not the immediate cause of suicide is a different one as far as we see. Therefore, what is most important thing is the treatment is one of the most important. The treatment for mental illnesses, and also one of the causes that increase the suicide is availability of the agents, the lethal agent that they take. For Sri Lanka, in agricultural areas, agricultural countries, it is the pesticide, the lethal pesticide available in domestic environment, and as soon as they get the suicide ideas, they have it's available there, so therefore they take it. That is the one reason that is found in Asian agricultural countries. The other thing is in West, it is the firearms which is available there in those countries, or in the past it was gas. Therefore, making these lethal items unavailable to the people is going to definitely decrease suicide. The treatment, the making the agents unavailable, and also immediate treatment. The treatment now in Sri Lanka, especially in Sri Lanka, in even the Asian countries, we have special toxicology centers and immediate treatment units in every hospital. Therefore, if they take patients immediately to hospital, they survive. So one of the major causes that they kill themselves is because of the lethality of the agent that they take. Therefore, that is one of the important measures. We consider the psychiatrist is the illness and illness related things. Perhaps if it is a sociological this thing, the how to reduce poverty, or if it is a religious reason, for example in Islam or in Christianity, they do not kill themselves as any other religion, because they think it's a very, very bad sin, because it's they believe that their life belongs to somebody else. They are not the owner of the life, they are only the stewards of life. Therefore, killing themselves is they are considered murder. Now, those are the social factors. In fact, the immediate cause of death or suicide is the mental illness, but definitely the social factor, the sociological factor, there are many research that even they get depression in various religious groups, especially the Islam, the suicide rate is low. Okay, but in Buddhism, the suicide rate is higher. In the Hinduism, suicide rate. So
there is a religious difference also.
There is a definite religious difference. Yes.
Okay. Doctor, if you could explain that to us a little bit about whether it's the person's spirituality or what exactly contributes to that.
The observations are like this. In Christianity, Islam and Judaism, those people who believe that there is a creator for life. In fact, individual thinks that life belongs to somebody else, the creator. Therefore, you have no right to kill yourself. Okay? Now, in Buddhism or in Hinduism, that ideology is not there. Okay? Killing yourself is not a murder. That may be one factor. In fact, especially in Quran, they say that killing yourself is one of 12 sins. In Christianity, you are not allowed to kill yourself because your life belongs to the Creator. But in Buddhism, there is no such concept. In Hinduism also, there is no such concept. Therefore, they think not only in the general society, even when they get ill, depression or any other psychological, that ideology prevails and suicide rates are lower among those countries, especially in Islam countries.
I see. Ma'am, also just like there are religious differences in the reported cases of suicide, is there a gender difference also, especially in terms of Sri Lanka?
Yes, if you look at the gender difference, the Sri Lankan situation is very much similar to the world situation as well.
Okay.
We have a higher rate of people committing men committing suicide against women. So there's
Why
a
is
less.
that?
Well, I personally tend to think that it's because of the ways that females express themselves and the way the males express themselves. Males tend to sort of not share their problems a lot because it's not masculine to sort of share your problems with people. But for females, it's okay. That's the social construct.
Okay.
Like you can talk to other women or other people and get your stress out. But for a man to go, I mean, you hardly see men crying around, even at a funeral house. So they are not allowed to express themselves. So that inability to express your emotions or your problems to other people leads them to sort of suffer more inside, and hence lead to things like committing suicide.
Dr. Gambhir, if you could give us a bit of insight on the psychological perspective on the gender differences in suicide.
Yeah, it's been observed that suicide rates in males is higher.
Okay.
And various hypotheses, as she described, has been put forward, but none of them have convincingly proved exact causation is that. In fact, if you consider that the depression, the main cause of suicide, is high among females.
Yes.
It's more double. If one male gets depressed, two females get depressed. However, the suicide rates are high among males. The exact causation is not known, even though the various theories have been put forward.
Okay, that brings me to my next question. Doctor, exactly why is that? Why is that this hasn't been sort of, because it's an important thing to know why suicide happens.
One factor that they consider very seriously is the alcohol intake is higher in males.
Okay.
And there is a very clear association that high intake of alcohol and suicide, and that is considered as one of the reasons.
Okay.
Not all reasons, but one of the reasons. But otherwise, the direct reason that nobody has observed.
Okay, is that because in Sri Lanka there is a lack of research that goes into this, or have we not studied the phenomenon?
That's not only for Sri Lanka, for the entire world, that has not been established.
I see. On that note, we have to take a short commercial break, but when we come back, we will be talking about copycat suicide, and also we'll delve a little bit deeper into why it is that we do not have the statistics and the research that sort of gives us a better insight into this issue of suicide. So we'll see you on the other side.